In this video, we are going to be looking at Chapter 12 from Test-Driven Development by Example, and the title is called Addition Finally. Now, in this case, we are pulling up our active to-do list, and we are looking at the addition of different currencies. So we can see the one I have bold there that says that we're adding up $5 plus 10 francs should equal 10 with an exchange rate of 2.1. Now, in this section, we need to take things a closer look at how we're going to be doing addition. And we're going to start off with a much simpler example, and we'll just look at addition with the same currency of 5 plus 5 equals $10. So we'll be using that as our example. So we want to get that working. And we want to set things up so that we can have a solution that's going to handle multiple exchange rates. And we're going to introduce operations that are going to result in expressions, and you'll see how we're going to implement that. And then it can come off as a strange terminology, but we are going to reduce expressions to a value. And we are going to be bringing in the concept of a bank, and I'm putting that in quotes. And this entity is what's going to be managing the exchange rates. So the operation is going to produce an expression, and then the bank is going to do the reduction operation. So the terminology can be a little counterintuitive, but just try to get a grasp around of having expressions, and then we are going to do an operation on those expressions, which is going to be called a reduction, which is just really taking those expressions down to something like a sum. So what we are going to do is just do a very early setup of our object model and some initial tests in this video. You're probably going to be walking away with some questions about the additional implementations. Don't worry, this section here is kind of just setting the groundwork to do additional things. So we're going to be going in, and I'm going to step you through IntelliJ. I'm going to toggle over there now, and we'll start taking a look at the test and the functionality that we need to implement. Okay, so I've written out a test, and this test is coming right from the book, and we can see that it's not very happy right now because we haven't implemented anything. So there's a lot of stuff highlighted in red. And what we want to do is go ahead and implement this and get this test working. It's not going to be our final implementation, but there's a few things that we need to go in and add. And I'm going to go through the example in the book now and get this to the point where it's working. So the first thing we want to do is add in this expression. So I'm going to come in here, say new Java class, and in this case, it's going to be an interface, like so. So now we have the interface expression. And on money, let's come back over to the test. What we want to do is have a plus method on money. So come down to the bottom of money, and we'll say public that's not the one I want. We don't want that one. Oh, my mistake. I created expression under test. My bad. Move him up there. Now this should work better. So we're going to implement that. It's going to return back an expression. And in this case, we're going to make money implement the expression interface. So in this case, what we want to return back is return new money amount plus so you can see the implementation there. And now it's highlighting red because you come up here and you can see that this is not happy. And you can see here that the final option here is we want money to implement expression. So I'm going to just click that, let IntelliJ do the refactoring. You can see that that went in and added that. So now that piece is happy. Come back over here to money test. So that takes care of line 40. We can see expression was not happy. Now we need a bank object. So let's come in here. And I'll actually go to the main folder this time and create bank. And the bank object is going to have money, so you can see there I've added in that reduce method. And now this is going to be happy. And now let's go ahead and run that and get it to the point that it's compiling. And our test should be failing, which it does. Null pointer exception. Going through the equals. So that is returning null, so that's not happy. Remember, we had our null pointer. That's actually a task on our to-do list, because right now our equals method is failing. It's tossing out an MPE, and that is still on our to-do list, so we're not going to fix that right now, but we do have a failing test, which we are expecting. And we are going to do just enough to get this working, so let's turn back. So now I'm adding in, I'm just hard coding this only to make the test pass. So we're going to get a passing test. And we can see that is now happy. So just to recap what we did here is we started off with a test. I wrote the test ahead of time, so this test is right out of the book. And set it up, and the compiler was very unhappy. We went in and implemented just a very, very minimal implementation of everything. So we created the expression interface. We made money implement that interface. We added in the bank object, and the bank object does have a reduce method, which takes in a source expression and then the target currency to convert to. And now this is going to be refactored. It's just returning back simple money of 10 to get our test to the green state. So we are going to stop there. Let's take a look at our to-do list. So I jumped over to our to-do list, and you can see there I've got two things that in bold. I added a second one. So that is our simple addition test. So we now have a test working for that, but we want to actually go in and do the implementation for that. So in the next video, we are going to be continuing with this and continue to refactor this to something much more robust.